Welcome, everyone. I'm Jody Gale, Chairman of the NACAA, Natural Resource Aquaculture Committee. Welcome. We've got a few of our vice chairs from our committee on. I thought maybe what we would do, anyway, I should say that this is our Natural Resource Committee meeting that customarily has been held during the AMPIC in years past. And with the kind of the new formatting and with the shorter conference AMPIC footprint this year, the national board has decided to hold these committee meetings in advance of the AMPIC. So this is our primary annual business meeting, and we welcome you. Like this to be very informal. I've got an agenda written down here, but we'll adjust and go as we go forward. First off, let's run around the Zoom room and if everybody would just very briefly introduce yourself. Maybe I'll call it out for simplicity. Scott Habaker is our executive VP, is here with us. He's hiding in the background. Amanda, would you like to, or Amelia, I should say, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi. Let's see if I can get my video working. I am at the University of Connecticut, and we're a very small NACAA chapter. And I'm new to Extension, new to this organization within the past year. So interested to learn and hear about how this works. And nice to be here.
Well, thank you. Welcome. We appreciate your interest in this subject matter, and feel free to ask questions as we go along. Next, I see Ashley's 15, or I 15, I believe. Oh, that Ashley. Hi, Ashley.
Hey, Jody. Sorry, I'm driving down the road, so thanks for letting me in.
You bet. Nice to have you with us. Introduce yourself and your title.
Sure. I'm Ashley Longmore. I'm the Western Region Vice Chair for the Natural Resource Committee. I work for Utah State University as the Range and Livestock 4-H agent in Northern Utah, Box Elder County.
Thanks, Ashley. Carter, you're next.
Hello, Carter Oliver. I work for Iowa State University, and I'm in the western part of the state, work on the county level, do programming on a number of topics, but ag and natural resource, 4-H, prime examples of that, and I serve as the North Central Vice Chair.
Yeah, very good. Thanks, Carter. Connie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Connie Strunk. I'm plant pathology field specialist with South Dakota State University, and I serve as the NACA Vice President. So I just want to thank everybody for turning out today for the committee workshop. The information will be valuable as we merge the two committees together. So natural resources and sustainable ag will be merged into one. So anything that you as committee members and active members can provide, we'd greatly appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Connie. I have that as an agenda item, and we'll come back to you in just a little bit and ask for some more insights into how we can participate with the Sustainable Ag Committee and helping to that merger to move forward. Heather, would you like to introduce yourself as well?
Sure. Heather Slesser from the University of Wisconsin. I'm a dairy educator in the center part of the state.
All right. And your position within NACAA?
I'm the current chair, national chair of the Sustainable Agriculture Committee.
Amen. Thank you. Dwayne Joseph. Would you like to introduce yourself, Dwayne?
Hi. I came in a little, I just got in, sorry.
No problem. We're just doing a roundtable introduction.
Okay, I'm with the University of Maryland and I'm the chair for the Aquaculture Committee.
Okay, very good. Thank you and welcome. Ready AI meeting notes, I see. I'm not sure your name. Would you like to introduce yourself? Or Read AI? Maybe that's Scott's work in the background. Ross, let's move to you.
It's Kalen.
Oh,
Kalen did that.
okay.
Well,
Do we
I'm
need
Ross Overstreet. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
do we need to introduce Kalen? Go ahead, Ross.
All right, no problem. Ross Overstreet. I am in the southern region with Mississippi State University Extension, in the kind of the south part of the state, agriculture and natural resource, as well as 4-H, kind of like Carter, a little bit of everything, mostly cattle, forestry, those industry side, and southern region vice chair for natural resource and aquaculture.
Okay, thank you. Tyrone Fisher.
Good afternoon. I'm Tyrone Fisher. I am North Carolina State University. My background is administration and livestock. I am multitasking and listening in. I am a vice presidential candidate, just here taking notes.
Okay, very good. Thank you for joining us. Veronica Bullock.
Hello, everyone. Veronica Bullock. I'm an ag and natural resource educator for Purdue Extension. So I'm in the southeast part of Indiana, and I'm a representative for our NACAA committee. Thanks for having me.
Very good. Thank you for joining us. I don't know if I've missed anybody. If I have, please. Oh, looks like Brian Beers is on. Brian, would you like to introduce yourself? We're just doing a roundtable introductions. Maybe he's unable to introduce himself, and if he's able to later on, would welcome that. Anyone else that I have missed by way of a roundtable introduction? All right, thank you for joining us. As all of you are aware, our AMPIC is coming up in Billings, Montana this year, June 29th through July 2nd. A great deal of preparations have already been completed in preparation for that meeting, and my hat's off to the national board, our presidency, Connie, Brian, yourself, and others, President Jensen, for all of the hard work that they're doing to make all of this happen. Our committee has a couple of significant roles that I'd like to give a brief report on. However, before I go to that, recognizing that Heather is here with us from the Sustainable Ag Committee, our committee is going to be going through a rather significant administrative change this year. And Connie, would you like to maybe address that a little bit where you introduced that? I could as well, but since you're here with us, would you like to provide just a little bit of a background and a little more announcement about how the committees will be joining?
Well, before my time as vice president, the board had done a look at committee structure and had formulated like a task force to look at the committee structure and to make some recommendations on, adding, merging, deleting, like, do we need as many committees as what we have, that sort of thing. And in doing the whole review process, it was recommended or decided upon, because then the board ultimately got final decision to determine to merge the Sustainable Agriculture and the Natural Resources Committee going from two different committees into one. So like the new name will be the Sustainable Agriculture and Natural Resources Committee. So it'll be two merged into one, and it'll be a 5-person committee. The incoming chair, provided the voting delegates agree with the board's recommendations, will be Heather Schlesser. And she is on today, so she'll be taking good notes of what is said here within the natural resources. And anyhow, as they'll start out, there'll be either a 1 or a 2-year term on this committee, and then it'll be up for new vice chair roles to fulfill that. But anyhow, this committee will, since it'll be one, they'll looking at all structures of angle. So it's not going to just be one-sided, and we'll have the opportunity to add more thoughts into what this committee or function will be at. But I know Brian says he's getting off the plane. Give him a couple minutes and then he can add in his 2 cents because he was part of the board when this recommendation came into play. My role is just seeing through that we're merging the 2 committees and ultimately making some of you happy with committee positions and making some of you sad by not getting committee positions. I'm sorry.
Well, Connie, thank you very much for that update on the status of our committees and the merger. I do know that our committee has been a relatively small committee over the years. There's been a few pre-tours provided. There's always been the events at the AMPIC. We, receive good numbers of abstracts, and we've had some fair participation in pre-tours and so on. But our committee has been one of the smaller committees in the national organization, and I think Sarah is similarly, and I believe Sarah had a national sponsor that changed things up this past year. And so I applaud the board's oversight into making our collective committees continue to be viable and to best meet the subject matter needs of the members of our National Association under the new committee. Congratulations to you, Heather, on your new leadership role. I would assume that the announcement of vice chairs will occur later, maybe at the national meeting when those changes typically occur. I'm completing my term anyway as a chairman of the Natural Resource Committee. And so the timing is well. So thank you, Brian. If he's just getting off a plane, as Connie mentioned, if he would like to join in and add anything at any point, we would welcome him. Next up, we have our natural resource pre-tour that we decided almost 2 years ago to rehost. It's well in process. We've been sending out information through the County Agent Magazine and so on. That registration have been opened. For those of you who may not be aware, we're basically providing a 2-day behind the scenes a natural resource tour of Yellowstone National Park. And the tour will be Friday, June 27th, beginning early that morning, concluding Saturday evening, the 28th. We will be staying the night of the 27th in West Yellowstone. And we're going to be led primarily by the Yellowstone Resource Center. Dr. Hillary Robinson will be our tour leader. I contacted her some months ago, and they're very anxious and looking to host us. They work for the National Parks Service, and their resource center is very much involved in the natural resource issues and research and resources of the park. And so they're very well positioned to give us that tour. The detailed agendas have been published in the magazine and so on. I won't take time to run through all of that unless there's specific questions. We were very, very surprised. I was particularly surprised at the interest in the tour. When we held our pre-tour a few years ago in Florida, We had 9 on the tour. It was nice. It was a nice group. We filled up a van and it was a great tour, and we kind of expected a similar turnout this time. However, we did not set an original cap on the number of registrants. And within 4 days, we had over 50 people pre-registered. Scott very graciously worked with the webmaster. We cut off registration, created a waiting list, and we've got another several on a waiting list, and then we cut that list off. We probably could have filled almost 3 tour buses with the amount of interest that has been. So it's been surprising. We've been able to scramble, get additional hotel rooms, make arrangements with vendors for meals. Dr. Robinson at the Yellowstone Resource Center found a different conference room and location where we will initially meet once we arrive in Yellowstone. We'll be coming through Gardner, Montana into the North Gate, and we'll be going to Mammoth Hot Springs where their resource center is located, and they will be hosting us there. We'll go through Norris Geyser Basin, a number of very scenic places on Friday. The National Park Service meets on Friday, or works and is available on Friday. They will not be with us on Saturday. So the morning of Saturday, we'll wake up and begin our day at West Yellowstone, and we'll go in through the West Gate this time. And we'll go to the Old Faithful area, see the Grand Prismatic Hot Spring, basically kind of spend a little more leisurely time that morning. And then in early afternoon, we will leave through the East Gate of the park and go out through Wyoming and back to Billings via that more easterly route. So in a nutshell, that's the tour plan, the arrangements. We're still working on a few things, but we think that we've got most everything in order. Scott Hawbaker has been extremely helpful in making those arrangements and or in helping to make things happen on his end with contracts and so on. And so we appreciate Scott as always in working behind the scenes and getting so much done. I will need help. We will need help on the pre-tour. I'll be bringing 1 support vehicle along with the bus. And so I'll be looking for our vice committee chairmen to help on the bus as far as helping to guide logistics and any questions that may come up on the bus. But that's approximately how the tour is arranged at this point, and hope that you'll be able to help cover that. Ashley, I'm where you're Western Vice Chair. I'll really be looking to you as well for additional insights and advice as far as helping the bus, if you're able to do that. Any questions?
Yep, I plan on being there the whole time. So anything you need from me, let me know.
Okay. I will be bringing a battery operated microphone that we can have at the various tour stops. There'll be the normal mic on the bus type thing. So that's how we will communicate with our tour participants. We have 52 that are arranged for the seats on the bus. Plus we will have the bus driver, and we'll have 1 or 2 participants, Dr. Hillary Robinson from the Yellowstone Resource, that will fill up other seats on the bus. We may have a couple of extra. I haven't packed it clear full at this point, but I'll be communicating with you a little bit more as we get just a little closer on more specific needs. I probably should mention we've had several people ask about luggage. Scott Hawbaker and I were just visiting about this morning. We're probably going to keep an extra hotel room at the DoubleTree to handle luggage that tour participants that may be flying in and staying the evening of the 26th. They won't need all of their conference luggage the whole time and won't need to take all of that on on the bus. And so we've got an arrangement made for a plan A and a plan B to help stow extra luggage for those that have that need. Any questions about the pre-tour and pre-tour needs at this point? Okay, I will be sending out an official welcome to all of those that have signed up in the next day or so. And also we'll be sending out additional information to those that are on the waiting list. It's possible we may have a seat or two open up as we get closer to the conference, but at this point, we're fully staffed. Okay, going to breakout sessions. I'd like to thank thank all of our chairs for reviewing the 12 or the 13 abstracts that were received by our committee. Those abstracts were reviewed, revisions were requested, revisions made. Those have since been accepted. And we have sessions on 2 days. It'll be Monday, the 30th of June, and also Tuesday, the 1st of July. We were able to, we were assigned 12 slots, and we only need 10 slots given those that were accepted. We did have one late application that was unable to be accepted. A few were not accepted. But those that were accepted will fill up that Monday block and most of the Tuesday block. The 2 slots in the afternoon on Tuesday will be filled, I believe, by one of the other committees. I don't remember quickly off my head which committees they are, but those 2 unused slots will be filled up by other committees with more applications, and they will take care of that. I do have some need for some moderators. I've spoken with our committee chairs, vice chairs earlier, and I'll be looking to you to help with moderation, and I'll be sending that assignment list out shortly. I'm a little tardy in getting that done, and I've taken some liberties to place you, but if those don't work, we can probably make those adjustments, but I do need to get that to Scott ASAP for eventual publication in the proceedings. Any questions about breakout sessions? Comments, concerns? The National Board toyed with the idea of going to 20-minute sessions, presentation sessions this year, and eventually they opted to stay with the 30. So we will have a 25-minute slot for each of our presenters. We're going to allow 5 minutes in between to pull up PowerPoints and deal with technology, and we will stay on task. It's important we rotate on the hour so that participants can rotate to other sessions and not get off track. So we will hold firm on that. And the 25-minute block will need to be, the presenter will need to include question and answer time in that 25-minute slot. Okay, we've talked about the committee future that Connie has mentioned and discussed. Customarily at this time of year, we will fill out our plan of work and budget for the coming year. And recognizing we're going to be in a combined committee, maybe I'll bounce a question to Connie and then to Heather, where Heather will be the chair of the combined committee. What do we need to do specifically regarding our plan of work that would come from the natural resource side as we join that with the Sustainable Ag Committee in putting that together?
Well, I would, as you go through today's workshop and you get information, you would write that up and submit it as proposed plan of work or potential suggestions for plan of work for the newly combined Natural Resource or Sustainable Ag and Natural Resources Committee. Obviously, they probably can't do everything that both committees are looking at this first year out, but at least gives them something to go off of, because there's the ability for like the webinar 365s and some other things for them to kind of think about. So I would just put it as proposed. And that way, next year when provided, voting delegates say, yes, Heather does this workshop, she'll be soliciting information and ideas from both, content areas, much like some of the other committees that have more than one area that they're fielding under.
Okay. All right, with that in mind, let's chat a little bit about that. We have held, I'm drawing a blank a little bit on how many 365 seminars our Natural Resource Committee has provided this year. I believe it's been at least 2. I provided one, and I believe we've provided 2. Another one was being discussed, and I'm not sure if that one has happened. What would you like to propose to encourage our members for 365 webinars next year? Should we try and do one quarterly, one every other month, maybe 2 during the year? What's your thinking on 365 webinars? Kind of quiet out there, everybody. I would encourage you, if you've got a outstanding program, many of our authors that have already submitted abstracts, there's some great programs there, and they would be great subjects matters to be able to prevent a 365 webinar on. So I would encourage you to think about that and see within your own areas, any of you as participants with us today. I'd encourage you to look at your programs, and if you'd like to share something that would benefit other agents across the country, this 365 webinar gives you an hour where you can really get into some detail on a program that you've found success with that would be very beneficial to share with other agents, to provide other ideas on to other agents in other parts of the country. It also obviously looks good on promotion and tenure documents for those of you that are in that track. And so I'd welcome any ideas. We don't have to decide particular subjects now. There will be a sign-up list that I believe will come out for this next coming year. I'm not sure, Connie, when that happens. Be thinking about it. And I would suggest that as a committee, Heather, I would maybe recommend we look at maybe at least 1 a quarter. That would be 4 during the course of the year. Unless anyone else has another opinion.
Attendance numbers from the ones that we did this past year by any chance, or to see whether or not we had a lot. Obviously, we may want to try to do more if it's
Ross, I'm not sure how many participants we're getting live. These are recorded and posted on the website. I don't know if there's some statistics behind the scene to see how many views have been
right.
On those after the fact, but I am aware in previous discussions that they're not super well attended. These 365 webinars is a pretty new program within the association. Only been going a couple of years, if I remember right. And so I've been trying to, I've provided 2 of them. A couple of our other members have provided 2 or 3 in the last couple of years, and just to try and help encourage that along. Scott, I don't know if you want to chime in, if you're aware of numbers there, and maybe advise us on how to help support that effort.
Definitely. I mean, I'm like you, Jody. I would at least say, try to shoot for 4 at least. 1 a quarter.
You're muted, Scott.
Sorry. I know I can go back and I can pull the stats from how many registered, and I don't know if it'll show me how many actually attended. But and then I know within YouTube where I have them posted, it will show you how many views you've had just when you go and find the video. But give me a few minutes and I'll get that data for you.
Okay. Well, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, that's all right. I'm here. I might as well do it.
So if that would be too much trouble, but I I think it's a great idea, and a number of the subjects have been natural resource subjects or horticulture or a host of other subjects. Others have been programs specifically more administrative needs within the association, like promotion and tenure related, or how to host a national meeting and other things. So it's a very diverse on what those topics can be. Okay, so let's switch forward with a recommendation, maybe a 4 at the moment, unless we change our mind to recommend to try and fill from our combined committee next year. What about a pre-tour? Pre-tours take a lot of work. There's a lot of expense. They're really cool. Very frankly, in my 35 years in extension, the things that I have enjoyed as much as anything about our national meeting. Yes, we have the opportunity to present presentations, we have business meetings, we have networking and all those benefits that come with national meetings. But personally, my favorite part has been going on tours. Whether it's a pre-tour or the tour during the week, seeing agriculture in other states, seeing programs and things, and that's been I've been able to see things in many states that otherwise I would never have seen. So I think there's a lot of value in a pre-tour. Do you want to try and do set a goal to do a pre-tour for next year in Colorado, I believe? And a lot of the work will fall to Heather.
This is my 2 cents, just being from the West, but as popular as the Yellowstone tour was, with Rocky Mountain National Park being close, it's definitely an option to try and do something similar to what we did this year, just different park, different natural resources. I'm sure we can put some sustainable ag stuff into that tour, but it's a close park and some pretty neat things that happen in that park, research and otherwise.
Okay, very good. So there's a couple of votes for a pre-tour. What do you think, Carter? You want to go to see the backcountry of Colorado on a pre-tour?
I think if I'm correct that both committees are currently doing pre-tours, so I would recommend the combined new committee do a pre-tour as well. So obviously there's high demand, and I think the park would be a great example, but I know the sustainable ag also does great things, so finding a balance there will just be the hardest part, but fully recommend a pre-tour.
Okay, very good. Others, any comments about pre-tour or ideas? I don't know if we have anyone on from Colorado specifically with us today. There's a few of us here from Utah and we're neighbors, but would welcome any comments or ideas. Part of the questions about pre-tours, do we do them long or short? The one in Florida a few years ago, it was a long one. It started on Wednesday and it went clear through Saturday. It was extraordinary, but it was expensive. But I saw a lot of things that would never have had a chance to see. Another one, the one we did in Iowa a few years ago, was Saturday afternoon. We met at 1 o'clock and went to a wildlife conservation area, saw some really cool things there. And we were back to the hotel that evening, so they can be short or long or somewhere in between. So there isn't any specific recommended format on how long. Expense is an obvious one. This tour this year is kind of expensive, and that's another thing that's been surprising at how much interest there's been. And maybe that will happen in Colorado next year. Okay, I guess I won't necessarily ask for a vote, but I'm kind of seeing interest in recommending do a pre-tour, so we will add that to the plan of work if that's in agreement by the body. Breakouts, I am assuming, Connie, that the breakout sessions, the times that have been allocated for SARE and natural resource would kind of be combined next year. Will we have like 24 slots next year to fill, or will we have 12 slots to fill?
I would plan on the 12, but it really will depend on, now we're going back to like the 5-day structure and the amount of facility and space, and then all depending if there's additional time slots or not, because within some of the committees, they didn't accept or didn't have enough quality applications for their committees, so then they rolled them over to other areas. And so like this year, we'll have a lot that are represented within 4-H, but they also had a huge showing of some phenomenal abstracts that they put forward. So it really is kind of dependent on the amount and what presentations are selected to.
Okay, I just checking chats here as well. So thank you for that feedback, and we'll include that as part of our plan of work to be able to provide the customary breakouts. In search of, let's see, I'm forgetting the name of the super seminars. Sometimes we've done super seminars. I've served on another committee where I have an opportunity to host a super seminar that's part of the conference. That's kind of almost double duty, but the deadline for many of these decisions, final decisions about pre-tours, hosting a super seminar, others, those are due, I believe, in December, November, December, as we get late in the year. Final decisions don't need to be made until then, but what do you think? Do you want to, the combined committees, would there be interest in trying to do a super seminar in addition to doing a pre-tour? Or is it one or the other? What's your thinking there? Heather, do you have any strong opinions one way or the other at this point?
No, Jody, I don't. I think
Okay,
whatever the groups want. I mean, we've done super seminars with Sustainable Ag when we were still funded by SARE, but this year we're not doing one, so.
okay, all right.
And then just so you know, like the super seminars, even the pre-tours, there's an application process. So even though the committee might propose having one, does not mean that it'll be selected by the board to pursue for the annual meeting.
Thank you, Connie, for that clarification. So let's just kind of leave that on the burner for now then, and if once the new committee comes together this this summer and fall, we'll leave that decision for the combined committee. But for the purposes of the plan of work, I won't include a super seminar in that draft for the plan of work. Once I put this together, I will send it out to you as vice chairs and ask your critique before I submit that to the board to make sure that I get everything correct. Making myself a note here. Okay. Anything else? That's kind of most of the things that I had on my rough draft agenda. Any comments, suggestions, ideas, feedback for Connie and Brian on maybe how the committees might be combined together, especially those of you that have joined us that are maybe not necessarily in a leadership position. You're kind of a quiet bunch out there. Would welcome your suggestions or ideas on what you would like to see to better serve your needs as our two committees are merged.
Jody, this is Brian Beer. How are you today?
Very good, Brian. Thanks for joining us. We're glad to have you with us.
Sorry,
Brian,
sorry
please introduce yours. Please introduce.
Yeah, sure. I'm Brian Beer. I'm the Press Professional Improvement Council Chair for this year. I'm from South Carolina. I work for Clemson Extension, and I do the area livestock work in South Carolina. in about 5 counties down in the more central part of the state. But I just want to, Jody, I want to say thanks to your committee and thanks to you. I think everybody was floored at what your pre-tour did. And there was a lot of concern when the expense side showed up on that thing and what it was going to be. And there were some folks that thought, well, that's never going to go. But I said to the board presenting it that I don't want to be in the habit of saying no for other people. So let's put it out there and see what happens. And lo and behold, so kudos to y'all for putting together a good tour that had some interest, even in spite of that cost. But and thank you for your work over the past several years. And I think what y'all have gotten pulled together today will help the new committee going forward. And when Heather has her meeting with her group, y'all can combine those two plan of works together at the end of the year and let that new committee figure out exactly where they want to go. But good job on that. That's kind of all I want to say, and appreciate your work.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure to serve, and it's been a pleasure to serve a great organization. And we really appreciate those of you in leadership positions that guide our committees. Brian, maybe for those that are new with us today, would you just mention briefly the committees that are underneath your council?
You would catch me without the list in front of me, but
Here, I can help with that, Brian.
Yeah, thank you. Go ahead. I would miss one if I do it without the list.
It'd be 4-H and youth, ag, economics and community development. So that's 2 committees there. Agronomy and pest management, animal science, port and turf grass, and then the sustainable ag and natural resources. So he'll have 6 underneath his purview of council going forward.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Connie. We appreciate that. Let me just, before we wind up completely, I'll just bounce back to Scott. Do you have anything that you'd like to share with us? Were you able to find out any numbers on the webinar 365 in a quick spur of the moment search?
Yeah, the two that you did, one was on September 11th, and that was regarding the working with legislature, partnering. I can't remember, you'd have to give better details about it. I just looked at it. I listened to the whole thing, found it really interesting, but and then the other one was the pollinator one on October 9th. Unfortunately, within my Zoom data, enough time has passed and it won't let me pull up lists from that one since we're over several months past. But I did, YouTube on the September 11th, it had 10 views. And then on the October 9th pollinator one, it's had 36 views. So, trying to, the youth of the world would base everything on hits and it would say that those are utter failures. But, past President Durst, who was a strong advocate for these 365s when we first started them, made a really good point at one point in time that, even if just a handful of people can garner information from them, it's value, and adds value to our membership and to our members. So I wouldn't let low numbers discourage the committee from continuing to do 365s, because if you can make an impact on one person, it was worth it. So
maybe pollinators are just more interesting than politics. So
well, thanks, Scott, for doing that quick check on some numbers. And I share that sentiment. In some of my programming area, I have produced several videos, and I almost even hate to confess this, but one of my videos was on how to use leftover sweet corn from the garden to be able to make cornmeal and corn flour. and it was selected as the national winner from all of the videos and extension that were submitted that year, and I was pretty proud of that. But you look at the numbers on YouTube, and it's only had about 400 views. And then I produced a kind of a wonky one that I wasn't particularly proud of on how to kill stumps, and it's had over 800,000 views on how to kill stumps. And you never know what's going to happen. But I share the sentiment that getting information out there on YouTube through our National Association's website is a great way to share programmatic information with our association members, especially those who are new, who are still learning their way on how to provide extension programs and impact our clientele. And whether it's few or many, I think the 365 webinars are well worth the time to do that. And again, I'll encourage each of you to look closely at what you're doing and look at a possibility of maybe volunteering to provide one of those this upcoming year. I have no more information or questions or items on my website or on my agenda. I think we've kind of covered the gamut. Connie or Scott or Brian, if you have any additional instructions for us as a committee, I would welcome that now. Anyone that's on with us, including vice chairs and members, I would welcome any comments that you'd like to make at this point. In closing,
I was just going to say the merger of the two committees will take effect at the end of AMPIC here. And so if anybody has any topics, whether it's for the webinar 365s or topics or things that you'd like to see throughout your year, please send that to Heather or Jody for them to think about and include. I mean, this is the only way we can meet what you're wanting and hoping to get out of the association and out of the time. So really want you to think about that. But thank you for your work.
Thank you, Connie. I would like to especially thank the vice chairs who are both current and those that have served in the past for your assistance in making this committee work and your contribution to not only this committee, but the national organization. The committees really do help make the program work, and I appreciate your assistance and involvement with the pre-tour, with abstracts. We're doing all of the things that we're hosting, and I would like to wish Heather the very best as she takes over the reins of the combined committee in July, and offer whatever assistance I might be able to help her with the transition. Thank you and have a great day. Look forward to seeing all of you in Billings.
God, if I can get you for just 1 second, doesn't have anything to do with the committee.
Sure.